Selamat datang and welcome to our next episode. This is going to be a topic that I'm quite passionate or interested in. It's been something I've been working for the past couple of years on, try and make it, and the challenge is always about fish, about keeping the right temperature, keeping the right texture. What do I do based on the fish? And today's topic is, as you may have guessed it, fish balls. Specifically, I'm talking about using frozen fish, none of that fresh stuff that we normally get in Asia, in Southeast Asia especially. I'm going to talk about how to make Chinese style fish balls out of frozen fish especially. Now, everyone has an opinion on the type of fish you want to use, but my point of view is always fish balls should try and use the cheapest fish, and there are certain type of fish that you can easily use, like Pangas that goes very well. But I'm going to show you in a harder way, or something that's not so easy. I'm going to use Pollock. This is a type of Pollock that's available here in Europe, and we will try and figure this out, because the last time I made this it was almost there, but yeah, I've been trying to do this for the best part of almost a couple of years. I would say it's been almost a tale as old as time since I've been in Europe, but it's okay. I've got my frozen fish to start off with, about 400 grams as shown. This is Pollock, which a lot of people would tell you that doing this needs fresh fish, but I can tell you that the frozen ones you get are generally not fresh fish. So and actually a couple of factors normally go in with fishball making: temperatures, but fish is not really a concern. In theory you could make any type of fish that you want, but I'm using Pollock because it's one of the cheapest ones that we can get here. I'm going to start off with some baking powder, about 1.5 to 2 teaspoons worth of it. I'm just trying to squeeze out the amount that I have, so just bear with me. But yeah, this is almost 1 teaspoon worth. No, this is half. Oh, okay, whatever. Just give me a second, I'll get a new pack to open and then we can continue with this. So, to continue, I got a new pack, magic of internet editing, and we're going to go for 1.5. This is all experimenting based on research and based on some experience that I've had over the past years. So 1 teaspoon and 1.5, so we'll go with 1.5 for this. So that's 1.5. And what we want to do is put this initial mix in. This is going to try and fix the pH of the mixture. I also want to put in salt. That's the reason why I have this on my little weighing scale. Generally, we should be looking at about, I'm trying to test about half, so we have 400 grams, so we'll try and go for about 20 grams of salt, if not a bit more, that's fine. Salt is crucial because they will help break down the fish meat into the texture and the gel that you need for it to blend and emulsify. So I know a lot of people use much less salt. We use a much higher one here because it will help in the bonding. So I'm going with this first. I'm going to turn off my scale. We're going to start with the mincing part of the fishing. And yeah, just give me a second while I fix this. So I'm a bit sleepy, but yes, I figured out the issue. So let's go ahead and start chopping the meat up. We'll go medium. Like I said, I just bought the fish this morning. It's been sitting in the freezer. You will see that it's still frozen. There's a reason why I've not, I mean, I've been sitting outside, letting it sit outside so it's thawing and it's thawed. But there's a reason why I'm not letting it fully thaw, because you still want it to be chilled. You have to make this recipe while the fish is cold, because heating up stuff is how you'll get the fats of the meat to dissolve, and that's not what you want. So temperature is crucial and key in making fish balls, as we will learn as we go on. So let me get this ready and then we'll start putting our binder mix in. So we're now ready, and let's weigh in how much starch we're going to use. So just under 1.4 kilos, and I'm going to use 400 grams of fish. I'm going to use 50% mixture because I'm playing it safe. I'm going to use about 200 grams of starch. Just to be clear, it's not my first time with the fish. The last time I had some good points and some learnings out of this, so it wasn't perfect, but yeah, that's why I'm going with a much higher starch ratio than also normally most people will use, because yeah, I just want to make sure we get a bit more success this time. I'm also going to use some exotic ingredients, as you will shortly see. But first we will start with starch. I think 170 is okay. You can see it's got a high starch mixture in it. We will adjust as we go. We've got this in. I'm going to add a little secret ingredient that nobody normally uses. If I can find it, that is, there it is. Some gelatin. Nobody really uses it to make fish balls, but that's because you don't really know what they put in commercial fish balls. Yeah. So with this, I'm going about 2 teaspoons. This is actually quick gelatin, but this is actually beef gelatin, so I'm in the spirit of making it halal. Since there's no pork, I'm using beef gelatin. Of course you can use pork gelatin, it's not an issue. It's important to make sure that you don't mix the gelatin and the baking powder, although of course eventually they do, they're all in the same bowl, but don't put it together, so give it at least separated, and that should help. At least it will not directly interfere with each other. So back into the blender to chop. Let's go. So this is you've let it blend, and as you can see it's sticking really well. In fact, I must say I'm quite surprised. See, it's really good. It's really good result, honestly, considering even my experience, because this generally means you will have good form for the fish balls. But as you can see, I've done none of the traditional methods of slamming it, of moving it, of even mixing it using a stand mixer. It's only just pure grinding it in the in the food processor. This is a different method from what we use, or I have used normally, because as I said, I'm testing this and I can already see some very promising results. So I'm going to blend, I'm going to grind this down a bit more, because it's really looking very well now. And then we can start testing it if you like. Oh yes, before I do that, let's put some flavorings down. Put salt, we can put some pepper in. Yeah, that's all you really need. The reason why with this pollock, the taste is quite mild and it's generally okay. This is one of the reasons why I'm testing it. I've been trying to get it to work with pollock, hence my safety approach, and a bit more flour than I would have liked, because I want to make sure we try and get it right. It wouldn't look very nice, like I'm doing a video on how to screw up your fish ball. So yeah, that's why I've gone a bit safe with this, with the approach. Let's keep blending it, grinding it down. So you can see I've got mine in a little ball. What we're going to do is we're going to smack it down a bit. Let me find a better place to do this. It's not so. I'm just going to smack it a bit. not the best. I don't have a spot. Okay, so let's stir it over here. Just smack it a bit. Obviously the goal is to get it to adhere better to each. And by doing this, the goal is to, of course, similar to what the fishmongers do, to get the proteins to break down and stretch out. With the amount of flour that we have done, I'm not too concerned about doing this because, let's see, I mean, I could be totally wrong and I may need to take out my stand mixer, but for now, I don't know. I'm kind of convinced this should work, but let's see. The proof is in the water floating in a short while. So, I just wanted to share a happy part because I severely underestimated the amount of blending I'll need after more or less 5 or 6 minutes blending or chopping if you like. The result is much better now. As you can see, I just did a little float test. You can see a bunch of them floating. Yeah, there's still some coming out residues, but I think that's okay. I think that's given the best you can do with this style of fish. I would still like to chop it up a bit more, so I'll do that again after this, but I'm going to stuff this in the microwave so we can do a quick taste test to see how well it's seasoned. I just want to show you one more. There you go. It's not magic, it's not editing, it floats. So I'm just going to toss that into the microwave to heat it up and we'll see what the results are. So I just had a little laugh myself because we saw what happened when we put this in. Now it's like a little foamy thing. Basically it foamed like crazy. Now all that you're left with is this tiny little piece that's fish. Yeah, and you can see the texture is hard. I think it's considered okay. Let's see what we're left with because this is the cooked part. Yeah, of course, doing it via microwave, you got this result because basically fish paste doesn't like sudden change of temperature, and I want to get a quick result on whether or not this is tasting okay and more importantly whether it worked. As you can see, it's not broken, it's bouncy, and I could guarantee you it'll bounce. Yeah, not super high, but yeah, it's not shabby. Now let's taste. Interesting. It's more like a chewy mixture. Rather than a bouncy one, I think we need more. I'm wondering baking powder. Or we need to reduce the gelatin. It's giving me jelly, but I presume that's from the gelatin blooming. Fish tastes very strong. And this is the reason why you should not use the microwave to cook your fish balls. So let's just recap what we were or where we were doing. Basically it turned out as a disaster. Couple of issues with the fish balls which you can learn from my mistake. I'm keeping it there just for record. Number one, when processing the meat got too hot, so it started sweating and it didn't form and it broke apart. But even when it formed, the gelatin was giving it a weird texture. So I think gelatin as a form of meat binder is not working so well. So what are we going to do and how are we moving on from here? So what I'm going to do is I've got a revised recipe which I'll show you in a bit. But don't worry, we won't give up. As I said, I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and yeah, I mean, I'm always trying to experiment on this, so bear with me and we'll figure out how we can make it. Now, and I should say, akan bersambung.